represents is patriarchy.
We're here to do work as men, as patriarchs.
There's nothing more natural than being a father.
Welcome back to the 21 Convention, Second Patriarch Edition 2020 of Orlando, Florida, being held for the first time ever at 21 Summit, brand new. Our next speaker is the founder of RebuildingTheMan.com, also known as Bond, and TheFallenState.tv. Without further ado, please help me welcome for the first time ever to the 21 Convention stage, the amazing, the esteemed Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Can you see me? I'm so black. Thank you guys for having me here at the 21 Summit. It's an honor to be here. And it's also amazing to see men finally working on men issues, coming back to their natural state of being. So what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna talk for a few minutes. I wanna hear your questions and comments so that we can all be in one agreement, all right? We gotta get on track again. I've been doing for the last 30 years, I started an organization called Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. And we are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. And 30 years ago, I started Bond because I woke up. Well, God woke me up, and he allowed me to see that it wasn't about color, it wasn't about slavery, it's not about racism, it's not about male or female. It's a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. And black people were, at that time, it was for black people only, because I realized that they were mad at the white man, they were blaming everybody, and it wasn't gonna help because that wasn't the issue. And that they had been lied to by their politicians like Jesse Jackson and at that time Louis Farrakhan and all those people. They are using black people for their own personal gain. And to me, when I woke up, I realized it's abnormal for a man to have another man over him. But I noticed that a lot of black men, they had their women over them, and then they had other men over them. Other men telling them how to think, how to be. And that was abnormal because when I was growing up in Alabama on a plantation, I was born on a plantation, I was raised under Jim Crow laws, and we never had another man over us. My grandfather, my father, but no other man. Once I became an adult, I had no other adult man telling me what to do, or woman. And so when I saw black people complaining about that, I'm like, wow, these men are weak. You're not supposed to have, there's an order to life, and that order is God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. And any man that has another man over him or a woman is a beta male. Do we have any beta males here? You guys know what a beta male is? Well, I'll find out later. Do we have all alpha male? We need alpha males, not beta males. And so what I did was we had this meeting and I was telling black people, you gotta forgive, you gotta overcome, you must be born again. And it's not about the physical, it's about the spirit. We are a spirit created in the image of God, and that we needed to return to him. And so after a while, the message started getting out of what we were doing. I was speaking at different schools around the Los Angeles area. And when I would go speaking there, the liberals would get mad at me, the teachers and others. So I got a call one day from the Los Angeles Times, and they had heard about what we were doing, and they wanted to follow me around, kind of see what my activities were. So I was invited to the school to speak, and this particular day, he was with me, this reporter, and the kids asked me if I thought homosexuality was normal. And I'm like, no, it's abnormal. Don't hate it, but don't accept it as a norm. And the teacher that was in the room had a fit, and she made me leave. She stopped the meeting and made me leave, and the kids got mad. And they said that, why are you running him off? You let homosexuals come in and talk to us about how to be a good homosexual, right? And so the LA Times guy wrote that up, And then I ended up on Phil Donahue, Geraldo, and I started my own radio show right after, this is like 30 years ago. And so over the years, I've been banned from 2 radio shows. I've been kicked out of talk shows, things. I mean, I've been through it all, but I love it. No problem, because if you can't enjoy the pain in the same way you enjoy the pleasure, you're not gonna grow in life. And the one thing I notice about men today, they're so soft like a woman, they can't endure. And God said that we have to endure. He said that tribulations work as patience in your life, right? So if you can have the same attitude that you have when things are good and when they go bad, if you can have that same attitude, you can overcome anything. And so a lot of word got out. I mean, people were talking about the organization. And so I started getting calls and letters from other races, white people, Hispanics, and others. And they were like, wow, we want to be a part of this. We need the same thing. We need to kind of help. So I opened it up to everybody. And today, we're dealing with men and women, but particularly men around the world. And this story is the same. The cause of the fall and how to overcome it is the same. And it doesn't matter what color you are, how much money you have, how rich or poor, it's the same. It starts in the home. And so what we've been telling men is how to overcome that fallen state. I have a TV show called Fallen State TV, and we show you how to overcome that. And we deal with it in the radio show. Because of that order of God, men are representatives of God on earth. Even in your fallen state, you may be a weak representation of it, but you represent God. You just don't know it. And that's why when you're born again of God, you come back to Him and the light of God shines through you, and you have an amazing impact upon the world. Men don't realize how important they are and that you are hated. Boys and men are the most hated species on this side of heaven. And the reason for it, because who they represent. They represent God. And evil knows that. And so evil is using the women and weak beta males to destroy the man. And it starts in the home when you're little boys. When your mother turned you away from your father, and 99.99999% of women, mothers and grandmothers, turn the boys away from their fathers. And when you turn them away from your father, they turn them toward them, and the mothers recreate you in her image. And by making you become angry, the moment you become angry at her pressure that she's putting on you, the control, or sometimes she's too mothery, the moment you become angry at the mother, you become like her. You take on her mindset and her emotions, and you react and overreact just like a woman, because you have your mother's identity. And then you become attracted to what you hate, and every woman that you get involved with is mama. All women become your God, and if you notice when you hate your mother, you can't stand up to women and deal with them in the right way. That's why God said you must be born again. The worst thing that can happen to boys and girls, but especially boys, is to be turned away from your father, your earthly father. Because when you're turned away from your earthly father, it turns you away from God. And you cannot know God, you cannot love God unless you love your earthly father. Because the earthly father represents God. He is the Son of God. And so when you love Him, you automatically love God, and you're born again. When you forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother, and forgive your mother for turning you away from your father, recreating you in her image, God will forgive you. Don't ask for forgiveness. Go and forgive. God has never said to ask for forgiveness. You can't find that in the Bible anywhere, but He said, go and forgive, and I will forgive you. He has it set up that way because most people are not going to forgive you. If you go to someone and say, hey, I'm sorry, forgive me, they're going to see that as a weakness, and they're going to try to use you with that. It's like when men are with women and they apologize to their woman for whatever. She's like, oh, okay, but you got to prove it to me. And you spend the rest of your life trying to prove something to her, and you can never prove it. She used that as a weakness to control you. But the beauty about forgiveness, when you go and say, I'm sorry for hating you, In that very moment, God forgive you and you're free. You start to change. You start to wake up. He renews your mind. You come back to your original state of being before you were traumatized by your mothers. You come back, he renews your mind. He takes away all that emotional stuff. And you stop being a woman and you naturally become a man, a son of God. And real men are not into emotions. They don't have an illogical mind. They have a logical mind. It's the woman with the illogical mind, and it's the man's responsibility to help the woman overcome that, to bring her out of her hell into his heaven. But the unfortunate thing today is that men are going into the woman's hell, and they're catching hell. I mean, I've heard some around the world. I've heard stories from men around the world. It's just hard to believe. I mean, I was in a fallen state too, so I know what it's like, but with the millennial men, it got worse. They're like, they follow women around. They move into women's apartments. They get with women who already have children, who already been married. They get with women who are older. It's like, I've never seen anything so messed up. Some of the stuff I hear from men, I'm like, wow. When I was in a fallen state, at least I knew some of the stuff was wrong. I knew never to follow a woman. Every time you listen to a woman, you will suffer because it's not the order of God. Every time you get with an older woman, you will suffer because it's your mama. You get it with, anybody ever got it with an older woman? What? Wow. Beta. Beta. Anybody got with a woman who already had children? Yeah? I can't hear you. It's okay to admit your sins. That's the beginning of freedom. Here's what I want to tell you, and I'm writing about it right now. Never, ever, never, 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 but never, never. When you wake up, when you return to the Father, you won't anyway, because you're going to be guided by the light. And the light is within. The light of God is within us, and he guides us because God really loves his sons. He loves all people, not as you are, though. You must be born again. It talks about when you're first born through the flesh of the woman, you're of the flesh, right? Then when you become an adult, you're born of the Spirit of God, of the Father. Now you're of the Spirit. And a lot of people never do that. They go down to the front of the church and they confess Jesus as Lord and Savior, but nothing changed. They don't change at all because they have not had that born again experience. You really can be born again, but only God can do it, and he only does it for those who are seeking first the kingdom of God in his right way. You have to really be seeking him. You have to look within. Everything that you want in life, everything that you need, you can't even imagine what's in store for you when you enter the kingdom of heaven from within. Everything you want, it's not in a college or a university. It's not in women, it's in you. Your whole life is already laid out for you. And once you return to the Father, your life will unfold for you. It really will. It'll just unfold. It'll be like magic. That's a horrible word to use, but it's so amazing, I can't find the right word. But never get with a woman who already has children, who's already been married, who's already been through a divorce or anything, because it's like buying a used car, right? You're just going to have trouble the rest of your life. It's just reality, but when you're in that fallen state, falling away from the Father, you're into the woman, you're looking for love from the woman, and women don't have love to give because your mother took away your identity, so you're trying to find it through the woman, and they don't have it to give. Women do not have love to give. The love comes through God, through Christ, through the man, to the woman, to the children. If you notice, because that order is broken and the woman is the head of the man, the love that she's giving out, it doesn't work. Just think about it. You become emotional, you become drug addicts, you become alcoholics, you become criminals, you become liars and thieves and slut makers. We having slut makers? Everybody's a slut maker, right? Well, you can't help but be a slut maker because the woman is your God. So you're looking for something through the woman that she doesn't have. And women don't have love. That stuff they have is not love. That comes from anger. And when you have anger, it awakens your nature. It causes you to want to have sex with everybody. It brings you into darkness. That's what anger does. But when you overcome that, you have self-control, and you can wait and do it in the right way. And so you got to overcome this, guy, because you can't make yourself change. You cannot make yourself stop being a sex addict. You can't make yourself stop being a drug addict. You can't make yourself stop being anything. But when you wake up, when you come back to the Father, He will cleanse you of your unrighteousness, and then all that stuff you picked up in the fallen state will fall away. The drugs, the lying, the alcohol, a lot of guys are into watching pornography on their cell phone. I've never seen anything like that. He'll take that away from you. But you can't do it yourself, because everything we do in life is spiritual. It's all about the spirit. It's not about the physical at all. Everything is about the spirit. Even Black Lives Matter. You heard of Black Lives Matter? This bunch of fat, black, radical lesbians. I just love saying that. It's not, they don't have fathers. They don't love their fathers. They've been turned away from their fathers, so they've been turned away from God. It's not about Black Lives Matter. They're looking for the love of a father. Just as men who have fallen away from their father, been turned away, that emptiness, that void that you have, is a yearning for the love of the Father. And nothing gonna fulfill it. Nothing but a return to the Father. It doesn't matter how much money you gain, your friends, or where you live, you're still gonna have that void until you return to the Father. And once you return to the Father, there is no fear, no doubt, no worries, no insecurity. You have perfect peace, absolute perfect peace. And it doesn't matter what you have to go through, it doesn't move you, because you're with the Father, and the Father loves you. But if you're still of the mother, you have fear, you have doubt, you have worries, you have insecurity, you have cancer, you have suicidal thought, because you're living out of your imagination, and there's nothing in your head but lies. It's a setup. It builds you up to let you down. So today I want to really have you guys ask me questions, or let's talk, so I can see what you're going through and show you how to overcome it, all right? You can overcome anything. And once you return back to the Father, you live by faith. And once you doubt, because you're going to overcome the doubt, and you're going to live by faith, and in faith, all things are possible. You will never doubt again. I'm going to show you how to never have doubt again. Any man that has doubt is a woman. A woman. Women live by doubt, not by faith. And it's the man role given to him by God to bring her into His world so she can overcome the doubt. But men have been taught to be like women. Oh, you need to feel, you need to think, you don't love me, you don't help my emotions. You're not supposed to help a woman's emotions. You're supposed to help her overcome it. You're not supposed to cater to it. It's hell having emotion. Do we have emotional men? No? Only one? Okay, only one told the truth. So here's what I want to do. We have a mic somewhere, so let's get into it. I want to hear from you. What do you want to know? What are you dealing with? And I have questions for you. Who want to go first? All right, can you go to the mic for me? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Is it possible to turn the lights up out there or no? I don't want to change anything. I can't.
Can you hear me?
See. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, like, you're talking about return to the Father. Was that a process, or was that something just happened to you in your later years?
It's not a process. It's the moment you start to question things and examine yourself. When you realize something is wrong with me, something's wrong in my life. I don't have peace. I'm subject to everything. I overreact. In that very moment, you start to see. And what you're going to see is that you have become just like your mother. Where you going?
Oh, I didn't know if I was supposed to sit down after.
No, not yet. Come back. We ain't done yet. Beta. Don't be a beta male.
Sorry to be a nice guy.
you're going to see that you have all these emotions and doubts and fears and you can't see your way clear. What happened to me is that when I moved to California at 18 from Alabama, I mean, it was like going from an empty place to a big city, right? And I had grown up on a plantation, so when I went to California, I made a lot of mistakes. I had fear, I had doubt, I had worries, I had insecurities. And I would work different jobs, but I didn't feel like a man. I didn't feel secure within myself. So finally, I went to different churches around there in Los Angeles, and I would ask the preachers, what's wrong with me? I can't deal with women in the right way. And I was a slut maker all the way. I was making sluts like 90 going north, right? And I remember I would go to church, and during the church service, I would say, you know how the preacher said, oh, praise the Lord, have mercy, blah, 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 right? I was doing all that. And they were like, don't sin anymore. I'm like, wow, that's good. I'm not going to have sex today. Out of wedlock, I was feeling all holy, and I was feeling all good, right? And so I'm like, I'm not going to have sex today because I'm leaving church and I feel it. I'm not going to do it. And before I could get down the road, I'm trying to think of the woman house to go to. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But I would end up doing it anyway. But at that time, I didn't know myself. So what you need to do is to know yourself, and you're going to see that you're insecure. You think and act just like a woman. And in that, you'll be able, God will show you that you got to go and forgive your mother so that God can forgive you and change your nature. And forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother, because the responsibility of a father is to protect his children from the mother and to help her come out of the hell that she's in. But the men don't know that because their fathers have not been good examples. So you got to get to know yourself first. Then you start to open up. God is with you, and he will allow you to see, and your whole world will change. And you got to doubt every thought, because every thought is a lie. There's no such thing as a true thought. Have you forgiven your mother? You heard me say that?
I think I need to do that.
Have you done it yet?
I haven't.
You have not?
No.
And why not?
I've tried to ask myself why I haven't done that. You know, me and my wife, I just had my first child, and
You married?
yeah,
You had your first child?
yeah.
When you were married to your mama, she's going to mess your child up. You have a boy or girl?
Girl.
Beta. Real men make boys first.
That's us hoping, but
Have you noticed that the millennial men are all making girls first? I'm like, what the? Well, my first child was a boy. And if he wasn't going to be a boy, I can send him back. Real men make boy first. And so you realize you're married to your mother?
I'm kind of realizing that now.
Yeah, she controls you. And because your weakness, she's going to destroy your child. She's going to do exactly to you, your child, what your mother has done to you because you're not able to protect your child. Why have you need to go, what would happen if you went and told your mother, you know what, I'm sorry for hating you, for screwing up my life?
Are you asking me what would happen if I did that?
Yes.
I think it'd be good because I'd be able to move past, resentment I have and those ill feelings.
Yeah, what do you resent her for? What did she do to you?
My parents got divorced not too long ago, and just the way she's kind of real spiteful behind my dad's back, and I never really had a good relationship with her.
Yeah.
There's other factors that go into it, but I've just never really been close to my mom, and I just kind of, after my parents split, I moved to Texas, and I was just like, guys just said, fuck it, I just don't want to,
You said, fuck it?
Pretty much.
That's millennial.
Just like
Millennial's second language is cursing. They call my show, they're like, fuck it. They say all kind of words, but I just laugh at it because I totally understand it.
Yeah.
But you got to face your mother. God said, go and forgive, and I will forgive you, and you're going to shake in your boots. When I went to forgive my mother, it was the hardest, and I was 38 at the time. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. It was like trying to face Hitler. I wish I would have rather faced Hitler than my mother, right? And so she came out to California to visit her sister, and God allowed me to realize I needed to forgive her so he could forgive me. And so I'm like, wow, okay. And I was driving over there, and the closer I got, fear would just overtake me. And when I started to walk into the house, I could barely make it up the stairs. It was like 2 or 3 steps. But I realized my mother had turned me away from my father. She was kind of mean, but not really mean. And I resented her. And whomever you have anger at, they control you. And so I realized that's what was going on. So I went into the house and I told her, let's go in the room and talk. And Sadie was telling me, oh, don't do it. This is the wrong time. She's on vacation. And I knew not to listen to that. So I took her in the room and I said, all my life I resented you. And I'm saying it now like it was easy. I could hardly breathe when I was saying it. And I said that you tried to turn me away from my father. All that was wrong, but I'm wrong for hating you for it. I realize now that you couldn't help yourself, and I become like you. She recreated me in her image. And for me, my mother apologized. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had done that. And she told me about her life, and exactly what she had done to me, her mother had done it to her. And she didn't know she had passed it on. But in that moment, my life changed, and I've not been the same since. And I went to my father and asked him why did he protect me from her, but he couldn't handle her because it was like dealing with his own mother, and I understood that. But I woke up, and it's just amazing what my life has become. Everything that I'm doing in life right now, I never imagined doing it, not for one thing. And likewise, it's in you too. He has your whole life inside, but it can't come out until you forgive and the light of God can work through you. So you got to face your mother.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Just kind of made me realize a lot of things about myself that I need to work on, and I think that does, hold me back from a lot of those things.
Yeah, like what, for example, you need to work on?
Honestly, taking responsibility for a lot of my actions. And that's one thing that really has kind of hit me, and kind of, you're saying when you have ill feelings towards someone, they control you. I feel that's like a weight, I'll just say, on my soul. And I just I feel like I could, do better as a father.
Yeah.
And
your wife
kids.
needs you too. Women need men. The earth,
Yeah.
The world is going to hell in a handbasket because men are not leading the way. The women are leading the way, and they can't see what they're doing because they're into their mind, they're emotional. It's the men that's needed. That's why everything is falling apart. But I do want you to know that once you wake up, you're going to catch pure hell from your wife because she's not going to lose that control over you. And she's going to like, oh, you don't love me. You used to cater to me. You used to hug me. You used to do this, right? But what she's saying is, you're not letting me control you anymore. I don't know how to handle that. You're going to change, and you're going to catch hell from her because she's losing that control over you, and her ego won't be able to handle it. And she would be like, I'm going to leave. I'm going back home to mama. And then if that doesn't work, she'll bake you a cake. And if that doesn't work, she'll give you some sex. And you should take it all, but don't change. Eat the cake, but don't change. All right? And when you have sex, just have a quick, bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Did you know that sex shouldn't last more than 2 or 3 minutes, 2 or 3 seconds? Did y'all know that? But the women have men licking and lapping and going for hours now. The women are like, worship me, and the men just worshiping. When really the only purpose for sex is to make a baby. You're supposed to, if you seek the kingdom of God in his right way, God will put a woman into your life if that's your heart desire. You would date her without the sex because once you have sex with her, she takes control over you. It's like a drug. And you wake up to it, you become emotional, and you feel like you can't do without it. She has control over you. So you don't really see the woman that you're marrying. And then once you marry her, the morning after the night of, you wonder what in the world happened, right? But it's like a drug, so you were high and you didn't see what you were getting. But if you don't have sex with the woman before marriage, you would see what you're getting into. And if it's not the right woman for you, the right wife or the mother for your children, you'll be able to walk away from it without tripping. Why did your father protect you from your mother?
I think he didn't take responsibility as a man, and maybe it's because he didn't forgive his mother. I don't know.
100%.
That's
he was married to his mother. He couldn't handle her. So when father leave home, they don't leave their children. They leave the mother of the children. They leave their wife. They don't leave their children, but the mother tells the children that the father didn't take responsibility. He didn't love you. He was mean to me. He was abusive. He was this. But they don't tell you that your father loved you. It's just that he and I didn't get along. He couldn't handle me. I was just like his mother. But he loved you. But because of that anger in her heart, he'll turn you away from him and make you think he wasn't responsible. And it's not true. He just didn't know how to handle her. And you really need to talk to your father so you can love him again and you'll be fine. Otherwise, your wife going to wipe you out, man. You're not going to last.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. Because you're like beta. I can see you're beta. Can't y'all tell he's a beta? You know you're a beta?
If you say so, I guess.
You don't see that you are?
I haven't really thought of it like that. I've been interested in this whole movement trying to become a man or a better man.
Oh, that's another good point. Once you return to the Father, we can't make ourselves become a man. Learning how to operate on a tractor or whatever is not going to make you a man. You are a spirit created in the image of God, and once you return to Him, He will develop you into a man. You would naturally become one. And you would be the son of God, and you would be a man, but no one can make you be a man. No material thing or no person. Our earthly father is supposed to be a man, and when we look at him growing up, we will become like the father. But because the fathers are weak, they've been wiped out by their mothers, they don't understand it. And so only God can make you be a man. Because you could buy the biggest house, you could have a great job, but if you're not been born again of the Father, you're still going to be weak. So you got to forgive your father as well. And you'll be fine. And as soon as you realize you resent your mother for what she's done to you, you should go and forgive her. And God will forgive you. It's not a process. It's just a fact of knowing yourself and waking up. You got to wake up.
Thank you.
All right, so face your mother.
I will.
And you're going to be nervous. Don't let Satan talk you out of it. And don't apologize for, I'm sorry I was a drunk. I'm sorry I gave you a hard time. Because you couldn't help yourself. You had her spirit, her identity. You were just like your mother. You just apologized for hating her for what she did to you. She couldn't help herself. And everything would change. Okay. All right?
Thank you.
What do you think about that?
It's probably some of the best advice I've received here. And, I didn't really think about it, but, it kind of made me realize that needs to happen.
Yeah.
It's overdue.
It needs to happen. God said we must be born again, but born again of the Spirit. And we can't make ourselves be born again. We just have to see that we are wrong for having anger. Anybody here has anger? Oh, good. Any male that has anger is a woman. Hi, ladies. It's not normal to have anger. It's not normal. When a man has anger and he get with a woman, it's like a lesbian relationship. Lesbian. Because the woman needs the man to overcome so that she can overcome. And if you are angry and she's angry, there's no love, there's no light. She really needs you to be strong. And once you forgive your mothers, you will overcome the anger. It's not natural for men. But the women have told boys and men that it's so hard. You should feel something. You should be emotional. They have taught you to believe that you should be emotional. And it's just not true. Not true at all. You should have peace.
That's something I really want. I can see someone like you has that, and you can just tell someone like you has their everything together.
And that's what's gonna. My life was messed up. I was beta male. I was so beta, man. A woman can make me cry, but not now, but before. But God will change you, man. When you go and forgive, you're going to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Your life will change. You won't feel the change. You'll just notice things that used to upset you don't anymore. When people talk about you, allowing you, it doesn't matter. When your family turn on you, it won't matter. Because you love what's right with all your heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else. We cannot love anything else before God. We can't love ourselves. We cannot love our families. We can't love our things. We only love Him. And everything will start to work out for you. And so if you don't have things, that's fine. If your woman walk out on you, that's fine. It won't bother you because you love God with all your heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else. And you will have an amazing life. It will be fine. But you got to be born again. You must go and forgive. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
That was good. I think that's good for now.
I'm telling you.
I'll probably have more in the future.
And it's okay to know that you're a beta because the ego doesn't want to face it. But the moment I saw that I had anger in my heart, I was weak, everything started to change. He showed me how to forgive. He showed me how to do this, and I started to change. So it's okay to know that you're weak. You got to admit that you're angry in order to overcome it. All right?
Awesome.
Thank you, man. Anybody else? Come on down, guys. Beta males. Oh, let me see the guy with the anger. Right here, yes. The one thing I want to tell you, you can read about these things, you can write about these things, you can hear me and others talk about these things, but if you don't go and forgive, it's just a waste of time. Because you can't learn this. You discover this. You become that way. You can't learn it. You can read about it, shout about it, pray about it. You can pray until the cows come home and nothing's going to change. But once you get to know yourself and just be still, allow God to guide you, it's amazing. Be still and know Him. He's with you and He loves us. It's on the inside. It's not on the outside. Everything that you're looking for is within you. Everything. It's amazing. Yes, sir.
If I worked on my forgiveness and anger, how should I look for a right woman, or the God will put a right woman in my world?
Never, ever, but never, 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 ever, 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 never, 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 never look for a woman. You're going to find the wrong one.
All right.
You should only seek the kingdom of God in His right way, and He will add unto you, and everything that He adds unto you is perfect. It's absolute. It's what you were meant to have. So He will. Once you overcome your, excuse me. Once you overcome your mother, you're not going to look for a woman anyway, because you're just looking for false love. But once you overcome her, you're going to be completed. That emptiness that you have, that void in your life, it will be completed. So you won't look for a woman. And if your heart desires to have a family, He will add a woman unto you, and it will work out. But don't look for anything. There are men going online ordering women. Have you ever ordered a woman online?
Well, I'm from Russia. I don't need to.
Oh, yeah. So
that's where they order. That's where they order them from. So.
Online?
Yeah.
Some men end up ordering women online and end up with drag queens. Has that ever happened to you?
Well, I never ordered one.
Oh, you never ordered one?
No.
Oh, they don't do that in Russia?
No, they order them from Russia.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's no.
Oh, I see.
No.
Yeah, do not order a woman online. God will add one to you. I'm telling you, it'll be perfect. You'll have little arguments, but it won't be so drastic when you have to divorce. You'll be able to overcome it. And your kids will be saved from being traumatized because you are not, the woman is no longer your God, and you'll be able to protect your children from that. But you'll have a woman that is sent to you by God, so she won't be as traumatized either. So, but don't look for a woman.
All right.
All right?
All right, thank you.
So you have anger, right?
Huh?
Did you say you have anger?
Sometimes, yeah.
Did you know you were a woman?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Any man that has anger is a woman. Mm-hmm. Really. It's abnormal. Don't let anyone tell you that anger is normal. It is not normal. It's a fallen state. It's a falling away from.
So how do you work on that?
By overcoming your mother. You have your mother's identity. So like I was telling this young man, when you go and forgive, God will forgive you, and He will take your mother's identity away from you, her mindset and her emotions. He would take all that away and give you peace. And so when you deal with life, you would deal with it with peace, with courage. And courage is not something that you feel. It's just that you won't have fear. But you will never be able to overcome anger until you forgive. You must be born of the Spirit. So you got to face your mother.
All right, thank you.
Where is she?
She's in Russia.
Do you talk to her?
Sometimes.
Yeah. When next time you try to FaceTime with her, because you need to face her so you can get your courage back. So try to FaceTime with her so you can overcome her. You're going to be afraid. You're going to shake in your boot because the woman is your God. But you just say, hey, I want to forgive you for whatever she did, right? And I realize you can't help yourself because she couldn't help it. And when you and if she like it, that's fine. If she say, I'm sorry, because most mothers are not going to say, I'm sorry. But if she says it, that's nice. If she does it, that's nice. If she start crying, that's nice. You just look at her like you're looking at a movie. And or if she fall out and die because she doesn't want to admit it, you just say, oh, mama's dead. That's amazing. And then look for the insurance papers. And normally they're in the drawer right next to the kitchen. And go and cash it in, have a little cheap funeral, and go live your life. Because the hardest thing in the world for a woman to do is to admit she's wrong. Her ego will not let her admit that. She'll point out everybody else's fault. She'll blame the kids, but she won't admit she's wrong. So your mother might not admit it, but God will forgive you. That's why he said, forgive her, and forgive, and he will forgive you. All right? So that's how you overcome the anger. Otherwise, if you do get married, the marriage is not going to work. It's going to be difficult. You'll find yourself becoming a little boy, and she will become, your wife will become the mama. But once you forgive, that will not happen. That make sense?
Yes.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Hey, Jesse, I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome, man.
And my question's a little bit complicated.
I'm sorry?
My question is a little bit complicated. How does a man who has an earnest want of a relational relationship with God, who knows he's got a lot of anger, resentment, how does a man forgive if he doesn't know how to forgive? And that resentment and that anger is legitimate, and there's no repentance, and the father is dead.
The father's dead?
Yeah, I was
okay.
disowned by my father.
Oh, okay.
So
you were disowned by him?
Yes, sir.
And why?
I brought it to his attention that he was not in control of the alcohol was in control of him, and that his abusive behavior to my mother, his wife, was not condonable, and I loved him, and I wanted to help him, but instead of understanding where I was coming from, he'd rather reject the mailman, and he rejected me. He disowned me, and I said, no one will see me cry, and not him. And I spent many years disconnected, and even on his death, I did not cry.
Amazing.
And now, many years later, when we're speaking of the Father, our spiritual Father,
yeah,
I think my resentment, my anger, it's connecting with what you're speaking.
Yeah. When you hate your father, you cannot love God. It's just impossible.
So how does one go to God when they know that on the external they look like a man, but inside they're in a state of suffering?
Yeah, a really good question. Number one, excuse me. Number one, why were you bothered that your father was a drunk and abusive to your mother? What did that have to do with you?
He raised me. He lost his father at 8. And he said, Martin, when he was approaching my grandfather's age, if anything happens to me, you're the man.
Right.
Take care of your mother. Take care of your sisters.
Well, you said you went to him about being an alcoholic.
Yes, sir.
And about being abusive to your mother, right?
Yes.
Why would you go to him about that? He wasn't abusive to you, he was abusive to your mother, right?
He was very severe with me as well.
And you know why? Because you identify with your mother. Your mother pretended to be a victim, and she made you, without you realizing at the time, she made you identify with her. And so instead of just leaving you in the middle, you had nothing to do with it. It was between your father and her. You identify with her, and then you start to treat your father in the same way the mother was treating him. And he didn't know how to handle the mother, so he couldn't deal with the mother that was in you as well. And that's why he didn't want anything to do with you. You became like your mother. Because by him, your mother just wasn't some little angel tiptoeing through the tulip and your father go smack her, right? Your mother was something to deal with. And because he didn't know how to deal with her, she made you think she was a victim, and she was not. And that's why your father didn't want to deal with you, because it's like dealing with your mother. And so your mother still living?
She is, yes.
What I would recommend you do, because unless you do this, it's just not going to change. You're going to die that way. And you'll get worse and worse as time goes on. And it'll stress you out. You develop cancer and all kind of stuff. But you need to go and forgive your mother for turning you away from your father and making you identify with her. She was wrong. That's evil. Women do that, and they're evil for doing that. Your mother was not a victim. So once you forgive her, you're going to understand that your father could not handle her because he never overcame his mother. And then you would naturally forgive your father because he's dead, so you can't go to him. But the understanding, the insight will cause you to forgive your father. And once you forgive your father, then God will become your God again, automatically. But you got to forgive your mother so you can overcome that. That's all you need to do. The only thing that's got you locked in that father state is you have not gone to your mother.
And how does one forgive? Like, to take it from the head to the heart, how does one actually forgive? I want that. I want the forgiveness.
Yes.
And being headstrong, proud, to actually let it go with all earnestness, all sincerity, to actually let it go as if it never happened. How does one, when that rejection is so, you feel like a stray dog, like just that kind of loneliness?
Yes. Number one, you need to get to know yourself, and you're going to see that of yourself you can do nothing, and of yourself you know nothing. You can't help but be the way that you are. So when you do crazy stuff, and if you were married, let's say you did crazy things and your kids hated you, you wouldn't want your kids to hate you because you could not help yourself. And so once you get to know yourself, you're going to see all the stuff you've done, you could not help yourself. It's like a spirit made a home in you, and it caused you to do the things you didn't want to do and prevented you from doing the things you wanted to do. Once you know that about yourself, it will cause you to go and deal with your mother and forgive her because it came from her. You took on her spirit when you were younger. So once you go and forgive her, God will forgive you and he will change you. He will make the change. You can't make it, but you must forgive. Because the sin, you know how God said we have to overcome sin, we must forgive, overcome sin. The sin is not the sex, the food, the alcohol. The sin is playing God. Anyone who has anger, and anger is really hatred, anyone who has anger is judging. And when you judge, you're playing God. And when you play God, you should never know God. And so right now, you're having all this conflict because Satan is your daddy. You're in that fallen state because you have this anger. You need to forgive your mother so he can take that away from you, and you will stop judging. And then all those little things you picked up along the way, the drugs, the sex, the fear, the doubt, and all that, will fall away. He will take that away from you. The real sin is stop playing God. We are not allowed. The one thing that human beings cannot do to one another, we cannot hate one another. Because if we do, we would be separated from God. So your mother made you hate your father, and that separated you from God. But then you became subject to her, and you've been trying to find love through women, and women don't have it. So you got to face your mother, because you can't make yourself be with God. You can want him and all that. You can read the Bible about him. You can quote scriptures until the cows come home. You can go to church and lift the holy hands and praise and run down the aisle. It's not going to change anything. The only thing that's going to change, you must stop playing God. And the only way you're going to stop, get to know yourself, forgive your mother, and forgive your father for not being able to protect you. And all will be well. You will see the change will come. It will happen just like that. Immediately you will change. And then you will grow in the spirit from child to adult. and your life will get better and better, and he will add unto you, and whatever he has in store for you to do, you'll find yourself doing it. It will happen automatically, and nobody can stop it. No one on earth can stop you from doing the things that he has in store for you. But you got to forgive your mother. Amazing, huh?
Thank you, Jesse.
I'm telling you, that's the only thing that's going to work. I'm telling you guys, unless you be born again by going and facing your mother, you're born of the flesh, now you must be born of the spirit. Nothing's going to change until you do that. You got to come back to your natural state, the state that you were in when you were a little innocent child before she corrupted you by making you angry. And some mothers, they seem so nice. They spoil you. They do all of this and that for you. And then when you become an adult, they want you to pay them back. And they'll follow you to West Hell. You'll get married. They want to move in with you and your wife. Whatever, they want to call you every day. How you doing, baby? And you're like little boys, hey, mama. But that's going to all change. And when you want to help your parents, you would do it naturally without the guilt. They can't make you do it out of guilt. You just do it out of appreciation if you want to. You become yourself again. But you got to go, and don't let your mama move into your family house. You know what I'm talking about? She'll destroy your marriage. Or don't let your wife mama move in either. She would destroy the marriage. Let's say that your mother said, I don't like living in Florida. I like living in New York. I love New York. And then you say, okay, mama, well, my wife and I will move to Florida. All of a sudden, she want to move to Florida. I love Florida. I like to go there. Don't let that happen. But you'll see, though, God will guide you, and you'll be able to do the right thing. But you got to face your mother so all that conflict can be taken away from you. Are you able to face her?
It's difficult. The previous speaker had a concept of a son husband. So I'm kind of working through a little bit of that. Really, my anger is not so much towards towards my mother. It's more directed towards my father.
You just don't realize it. The proof is in the pudding. The reason you're able to not face her, because you do resent her. Now you feel sorry for her. You believe the lie that she was a victim, and she's not a victim. That's why you need to get to know yourself so you can see that she recreated you in her image. And then once you forgive her, God will take away that false love and give you real love. And you're going to honor your parents. You're going to love them in the right way. You will be able to correct them when they're wrong. If you want to help out in any way, you would do it naturally. You would be able to love your parents in the right way. But in that fallen state, you can't love your parents. You can't honor them because you're afraid of them, especially the mother. Are you living with your mother now?
No.
Oh, I was about to say beta. But
I've been on my own for 20 years.
Oh, right on, man. So was your mother perfect when she raised you?
No.
What did she do that you didn't like? You wish she had not done or still?
She suffered with alcoholism.
Yeah.
And just being completely unavailable. And she's still an alcoholic, a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah. Well, you need to forgive her for that. Go and tell her, you know what, you were alcoholic. You went to your father with it, so you need to go to your mother. You were alcoholic, you still alcoholic. You weren't there for me. I resented you for it. I'm sorry for holding that against you. Because she literally cannot help herself. Her mother recreated her in her image. She could not help herself.
Thank you.
All right? Don't let Satan talk you out of it. He would say, oh, your mother couldn't help it. It's not her fault. Don't listen to the thoughts, because your thoughts are not your own and they are not from God. You don't create thoughts. God reveals things to you. Satan talks to you. So that's why God said, bring every thought into captivity. Once you overcome that fallen state with your mother, you're going to stop. The thoughts will get away from you. And you'll live by revelation rather by the words that's in your head. That sound like you, that build you up and let you down. You'll get away from that. You are not your thoughts. Every thought you get is a lie. No such thing as a true thought. God, That's why God said, my children shall know me by my voice. He reveals things to you. Satan talked to you. And in that fallen state, you can't help but obey Satan. But once you forgive your mother, you'll come out of it, and then you'll live by revelation. Everything will be right there for you. All right? You want me to go with you to deal with your mother?
I live in Canada, Jesse.
Do what?
I live in Canada.
Well, I fly to
love
Canada.
It. Yeah, come. I'll,
No,
I'll
okay.
accept that offer.
Yeah, but I highly recommend you go and forgive her. Don't apologize. Just say, I'm sorry for hating you for the way you are. It's a spiritual thing. We must be born of the spirit. It's not physical. And it's not normal for men to be emotional and have fear and have doubt and have worry and be afraid to speak up. Women are not special. They're not queens. They are just human beings. That, like a man is to Christ, we're a human being, right? So Christ is there to guide us. And he's honest with us. He doesn't hate us, but he guides us. Likewise, that's what men's role is, to guide the woman. But if you're not overcome your mother, you can't guide the woman. She will control you. You have a wrong need for her, and she will use that need, that wrong need, to control you with. So you got to overcome her and be born of the Spirit. All right? Anything else?
That's fine. Thank you, Jesse.
So make sure you do it, man. Then you overcome all that conflict you have. I used to have it too. I understand how it is. But it will be taken away from you because it's spiritual. You are a spirit. You're not your body. You are a spirit inside the body, created in the image of God. You'll chip off the old block. Your nature, your real nature, is the nature of God. But because you're in that fallen state, you have the nature of Satan. But you will come back to that, and that's what life is. All right? All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody disagree with me at all? I want to hear it if you do. Yes, sir. Can you go to the mic for me? And you disagree too?
Yeah, I actually have a question.
No, okay. What you disagree about?
Oh, I thought you said agree.
No, oh, okay. So no disagreeers? And what do you agree about?
I agree about the whole thing about hate. I guess I don't like the word hate, or being angry or whatever, resenting my mother.
Yeah.
But I now realize that I guess I do.
Yeah. The best kept secret in the world is the anger of the mother, the evil of her heart. And she can't help it because it happened with the Adam and Eve syndrome. When Adam believed the woman who believed Satan, he fell away from his father. And when he fell away from the father, he believed the woman, and the woman became his God, and Satan became the woman's God. But Christ came and restored everything so that if we believe in the Son, we can believe the Father. And so that's what's missing. So that's why the women cannot help it, folks. It's not them, it's that spirit that's in them, because their father did not protect them from the mother. And the spirit is being passed through the woman to the children, and from generation to generation. But once you are born again of the Spirit, you're going to overcome it, and you will start a new generation, a generation of love rather than hate. And that's why God keep recreating human beings, because he's trying to start a new generation, a generation of love instead of a generation of hate. But men don't understand that. They don't know that they need to overcome their mothers. But you got to face your mother. Are you married?
I'm widowed.
You're widowed? You have children?
I do.
Oh, yeah. So how are they doing?
Pretty good. I think they're doing well. Honestly, I had a very good marriage, 23 years.
Yeah.
I listening to all of this here, I realize that I kind of become beta. I mean,
Yeah.
We were talking earlier. I took my foot off the gas. I don't know how it would have ended if she had not died.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish that I knew this.
You would have been the boy, and she would have become your mother, and the kids would be screwed up.
Probably.
They'll be on drugs. They would hate you. They would be having sex out of wedlock, babies out of wedlock. It would be a mess. Because if the father's not protecting the children, they can't see the right way to go. The light is in the father, it's not in the mother.
Yeah, I don't really know how I got there, but I'm working on it.
When you think about having to face her, what do you think about that?
My mother?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do it. I love my mother.
No, you don't.
I'm not well, I guess I think I do then.
Yeah, you don't. If you love your mother, you will have already gone and forgiven her and been honest with her about the way she is.
Right.
Love is being honest without judging. Telling the truth, being honest with one another, but don't hate one another for what you see. You have to be able to see injustice, but don't hate injustice, because you become like what you hate. And that's what discernment is. Discernment is the ability to see it, but don't hate it. But so you don't love your mother yet.
I intend to go talk to my mother. I'm being honest.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, like you're saying, I think that it is going to be hard. Like there's going to be. But I want to go tell my mother this because, well, now I realize I am angry about this, about what she did. And probably there's more that I haven't really realized yet.
Yes. That's why God said, when I first woke up, I had gone to different churches, Christian Center in Los Angeles, and other different churches. They didn't have any help for me. They had scriptures. They taught me the Bible, but that didn't change anything. I didn't really learn them because it wouldn't stay, but I knew scriptures, right? But that didn't change. So I finally asked God to let me see myself, because I didn't really know myself. And in the Bible it says, know thyself. And that's when he allowed me to see. And once he allowed me to see, changes start happening. But you got to get to know yourself so you can see what's going on. Then you have to face it and overcome it. And I'm telling you, man, you will never have fear again. Once you overcome your mother, fear will be taken away from you.
What do you recommend in terms of knowing myself? Like, this has been sort of a revelation for me. I'd never realized this.
Yeah. Now you're getting to know yourself. That
so
revelation
how do I
comes
continue
from God
that?
from within. I'm sorry?
How do I continue that?
By keeping an eye on yourself. Watch yourself. Don't be all in your head about things. I have a silent prayer on my YouTube channel, silentprayer.video. And you know how God said, be still and know yourself? He wants you to calm down so he can catch up with you and reveal things to you. So what he's going to do, now that you have that revelation now, because once you wake up, you cannot go back to sleep. Once you are born again of God, you cannot go back. It's like when you were born of your mother's womb, you can't go back into the womb, right? Even though some of you try it by going through other women, but you can't go back in the womb. Likewise, when you're born of the Spirit, you cannot go back to sleep. You can't go back to hell. So now that you have this revelation, you're on your way. So I want to encourage you to listen to the silentprayer.video on my YouTube channel, and he's going to show you more about what's going on. You're going to see this warfare that's happening within you between good and evil, and that you can't do anything about it. So you'll become the observer of it. You're not your thought. He's going to separate you from those thoughts. Because when your mother traumatized you, you fell away from insight, from revelation, and you woke up to the darkness of your imagination. You start believing those thoughts. And that's what's deceiving you now. But he's going to bring you out of those thoughts, back into his presence, and he will guide you. Just keep an eye on that, doubt every thought, do the silent prayer, and you'll be amazed at what happens. You will become a living being, and he will take care of you. But just keep an eye on yourself, speak up, but don't resent. But you got the key right now, the revelation that you resent your mother, you need to forgive, you'll be fine. All right? And so you're going to shake in your boots. It's going to be hard to face the mother because you resent her. And that's why it's hard for men to deal with women, because they have anger toward their mother, and every woman is mama. But once you do that, you're going to deal with women and men in the same way, with perfect peace. You're going to be honest. Nothing is a big deal. You can take it or leave it. Your whole world will change. You become a son of God. All right? So you got to face it, man. How old are you?
40, almost 49.
Amazing. Yeah, I know men in their 60s that I'm counseling with, and they live with their mama. and they hate her.
Oh my.
But because they hate her, they can't get away from her. And every time I know every time they try to leave, the mother make them feel guilty. I'm your mama. I took care of you. Your daddy was no good. I need you. I know men who have sisters. The mother encourages sisters to go off and get married, go to college, and they turn the son into girls. Make the son stay home and take care of them. That's how wicked they are, but they can't help it. So face your mother, you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right? Any other questions? No, okay. Anybody else?
All right, we've got one final question.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll wrap up. All right.
Good talk, Jesse.
Yes.
So I got, you said our mothers turn us away from our fathers.
The mothers and grandmothers.
Okay. And we look for our moms and our women, right?
Yeah, but you can't help it. You really can't help it because you unnaturally become attracted to what you hate. So you're attracted to that same kind of spirit. Even if you got with a man, it would still be mama.
Right on. And then it says, so my next question to that is, why does this happen? And how come our mothers do this to us? And can this cycle ever be broken?
It happens because the mothers don't realize what they're doing. Because when they were little girls, their mothers turned them away from the fathers too. The fathers were not men of love. They didn't have that perfect love. They loved the woman more than they loved what was right. And so the fathers allowed the mother to recreate the women in the mother's image as well. If you notice, a lot of women are just like their mothers. They're angry, they're controlling, or whatever, but they're afraid of their mothers too. And so if the women forgive their mothers and love their fathers, they can change as well. So the women cannot help it. And yes, it can change. When men change, everything's going to change because God's going to work through you. And if you should get married, you're going to make sure that your wife does not spiritually traumatize your kids because you won't be afraid to correct her. And you would do it in front of the kids, and the kids would see that, oh, the father is the one that has to love and not the mother. And they're going to love you and grow closer to you. And when they become adults, they're going to get married, and they won't pass that. They'll pass down love to their children rather than hate.
And so that's what breaks that cycle.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's come through the father. They got to see you do it, be it, and do it. And that's what would change because as long as they love the father, they love God. When they love the earthly father, they can't help but love God, and so they're going to operate from love. And when they get married and have kids, they're going to pass down love to their children rather than anger.
Okay.
That's how it changes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have you forgiven your mother?
No.
Why not?
No, I just, to be honest with you, I never really took a look at it, until today. Listening to what you had said, I was speaking to another gentleman last night, and I'm a divorcee as well. And it was interesting because we were sitting outside smoking cigars, and I said, my mom was real bitter all the time, angry. And I said, it's interesting enough that that's how my ex-wife was.
Yeah.
And then
I was
mama. Sitting right there. Exactly. You said what you said, and I about fell out of my chair.
Yeah.
And I was like, sheesh, that makes sense. So I probably need to go ahead and get that addressed.
Not probably. If you want to be born, God said that there would come a day where I return the children to the fathers and the fathers to the children. It's needed right now. You got to return to your father, but you can't do it unless you forgive your mother, and he will bring you in. And forgive your father for not being able to protect you. They were married to their mothers. They couldn't help it.
Yeah. Well, I go for a visit next month, so I'm going to go ahead and get that done.
And don't let Satan talk you out of it, all right? Because he'll say, oh, don't hurt her feelings. She's going to get mad. Oh, this or that, right? She has cancer or whatever, right? Don't fall for it. Go and forgive, and then you're going to love her with the real love. You won't be afraid.
All right, thank you.
I wish you well, man.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right? So let me just say, as I said before, you can read books. You can read the Bible. There's nothing wrong with reading, but don't read to remember. Just let it go in one ear and out the other. But you must be born again. And being born again is spiritual. Only God can cause that to happen. You can't make it happen. I can't make it happen. But I want to encourage you guys to go and forgive. Get to know yourself, and you will see your mother did you up. They just don't tell you. The best kept secret in the world is the destruction of the mothers, but they make you think it's the father Fathers love their children. Fathers don't leave their children, they leave the mothers. The mother won't tell you that. So go and forgive, and God will forgive you, and your life will change just like that. And love your fathers. They couldn't help themselves. Because if you don't love, and love means don't resent. When you don't have anger, you have love. There's no other choice. When you don't have doubt, you have faith. But once you overcome that anger, you will overcome doubt, and you will have faith. I wish you guys well. Do the silent prayer, that video, give it a try. You can still do your hooping and hollering and praise the Lord, all right? And once you do that first, and then calm down and be still and know God. He's with you already. The kingdom of heaven inside of you. The world out there is the Old Testament, but the new world, the New Testament is inside of us. The kingdom of heaven is inside of us. And remember, God said it's right at hand, right? It's inside of us. And He only going to let those in who are seeking Him. Only a few seek Him, not many. But He'll let those in who are seeking Him. So get to know yourself, and you will be fine, all right? I wish you guys well. This was amazing. I hope that this helped a little bit. Check us out at rebuildingtheman.com. We do a show every day. We have the Fallen State TV. And we have men and women calling my show from around the world. They're going through the same thing. Even from South Korea, wherever they are. Parts of the world I never heard of. The mama spirit that separates from the father is happening all over the world. So go and forgive, and you'll be fine. Thank you all for having me here. I appreciate it.
What he represents is patriarchy.
We're here to do work as men, as patriarchs.
There's nothing more natural than being a father.